Today I'm going to give you an overview about the Electoral College. So what exactly is the Electoral College? Is it a really awesome place that you can go to and have fun at like Mizzou, for example? No, not at all. It's actually the system we use to elect our president. So just a little bit of history. I know there's a lot of words on this page, but just stick with me. So the Electoral College is established in Article 2, Section 1 of the U.S. Constitution. And in that section, it states that each state would choose electors, and then at election time, these electors would meet in their own states and cast votes for two presidential candidates. Now, originally, the candidate with the most votes becomes the president, and that's still how it is today. But back then, the candidate with the second most votes became the vice president. Now, the emergence of political parties is really going to complicate things because can you imagine how hard it would be to get things done if your second in command didn't agree with anything you believed in? Like, for example, can you imagine if Mitt Romney was Barack Obama's vice president? It just doesn't seem like it would really work. So they are going to pass the 12th Amendment to change this system. So let's get a little bit more specific about how all this works. So I mentioned the word electors, and electors are people who get together and pass the vote for their party. So each party is going to pick a slate of electors. And so there are Democratic electors and Republican electors. And the number of electors each state gets is determined by the number of representatives and senators a state has in Congress. So the number of representatives plus the number of senators equals the number of electors. So for example, Missouri has 2 senators and 8 representatives, so it has 10 electors and therefore 10 electoral votes. So what actually is happening on election day is that when you vote for a presidential and vice presidential candidate on the ballot, you are really voting for the electors of the political party by which they were nominated. So this leads to this system called the winner takes all. So if a candidate wins the largest number of popular votes, that person receives all of the state's electoral votes. So Mitt Romney won the popular vote in Missouri in 2012, and so he got all 10 of our electoral votes. Now, in all but 2 states, the electoral votes cannot be split, so that means the winner takes all. So that means that even if 49% of the population voted for Barack Obama in Missouri in 2012, because 51% of the population voted for Mitt Romney, all 10 electoral votes go to Mitt Romney. It's not split up proportionally. So this makes it possible for a candidate who loses the popular vote to win the electoral vote. And this happens when a candidate wins several large states by narrow margins. So this could happen in California, who has 54 electoral votes, or somewhere like Texas, who also has a lot of electoral votes. And this has happened 4 times in U.S. history, most recently in 2000 with George Bush and Al Gore. So just take a look here at this map. This is the map from the 2012 election, where Barack Obama received 332 electoral votes and Mitt Romney received 206 electoral votes. You can see which states each person won. And so Barack Obama won California. That's 54 electoral votes. That's a huge number toward his total. And here you can see that he also did win the popular vote. He won 51.1% of the popular vote, where Mitt Romney won 47.2%. So just to recap this process again, the Tuesday after the first Monday in November is Election Day, and voters cast ballots for a slate of electors that are pledged to a certain candidate. So if you are voting for Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, then you were voting for the slate of Republican electors. And if you were voting for Barack Obama and Joe Biden, you were voting for the slate of Democratic electors. Then in December, the winning electors in each state meet with in their state capitals and cast their official votes for president and vice president, and that is then sent to D.C. In January, Congress counts the electoral votes, and whoever has the majority of electoral votes needed to win which is 270 out of 538. They are the winner. And then on January 20th, the candidate who has received at least 270 electoral votes is sworn in as President of the United States. So if you're confused, it's okay. We are going to work on this in class tomorrow, and the next day are going to give you a map, and we're going to work with the actual numbers of electoral votes, figure out that system a little bit clearer, and then we're going to watch some videos and hear some discussion about the actual system. Should it be changed? Should it stay the way it is? So please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you learned something today.